Hello, hashtaggers, and welcome to the Midweek Express of Sports Entertainment. Tonight, we are talking all things basketball. And to do that, we have one very special guest, which I will introduce shortly. The other is no stranger to the hashtag studios. But first, let me welcome back Zithlo, who's been away for so long. Hey!
Hey!
How you doing, sister girl?
I am so good. I was about to say sister brother.
Sister brother. Love that. So much coming up on the show tonight. And I can't wait for the viewers at home to get in touch on social media.
Absolutely. Now, remember, you can get in touch with us on social media. Send us a video of yourself and where you're watching from on Instagram, and tweet us your reactions to topics, and visit our Facebook for more cool ways to engage with us. For more information, visit our www.kwese.com. And Arthur, it's time for us to meet our guests.
Oh yes, Zithlo Power Pack show tonight, and to help us through all that is happening in the world of basketball is Mothiba, a legend of the game we love so much, and also in studio is Mr. Cool Cat himself, Spoo Shongwe. Great to have both of you guys on.
Welcome, guys.
I'm not sure what you said. Can you say that again?
He loves it. He loves it. Look at him.
Okay,
You're such a diva. Why do you always have to be?
Can you leave that for me, please?
Everything I've learned in this game, I've learned from you. First of all, so I don't know what to
do. You said that.
There was a whole tree of shade right there.
Wednesday is officially my favorite day. Hashtag I'm here.
Perfect.
Happy to be here.
Lovely, lovely. We also have Mothiba, a legend in the game of basketball. I was so excited to see you when I walked into the studio, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not even half of your height. How are we going to do this tonight? Welcome to the show.
No, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Wow. 14 years of captaining the national team. That's Mothiba, of course, so that being the South African national side. And that's where we start off this conversation, your love for basketball and where it began.
Oh, well, basketball for me has always been part of my identity. I started playing long time ago in Soshanguve. And
big up Shosha.
Yeah, it's been part of my life since I was 13. And through my family and everywhere, I've got a very sporty family. So, you know, I'm being blessed to be able to play as long as I have, and I know a lot of people that have played with me and have stopped playing, and they're amazed when they see me. I keep on playing. That's part of my life.
Wow.
I do that all day, any day.
Well, to be dedicated for so many years, I mean, what was that initial pull to the game of basketball?
I think when I was in high school, my brother started playing before I did. Obviously, the whole hip-hop culture of it, you know. I was mostly a loner in high school. So whenever I saw guys, you know, all dressed up in their hip-hop, I'm like, you know what?
The Spoos of this world.
Yeah. You know, I didn't want to mention any names, but...
Am I the culprit?
Yes.
So that's the official story. Neo saw me looking cool, cool cat, as you
know
say.
Yeah. Take it and ride it, my friend. Ride it. Take it, whatever.
But I had the pleasure to actually watch this guy drop 35 points on a team called MBB in the finals. I think it was a JBL, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, last season, yeah.
I mean, at his age, you know, 35 and above, and he's still playing like a 25-year-old, it's actually quite amazing.
Yeah, wow. I mean, you know, to hear Spoo describe you in that manner, what does that say about your career and how the legacy that you've left?
Well, for me, it's always been the love. And I'm a competitor. So every time I go and play, I always, you know, 4 or 5 days or a week before, I always think, am I putting myself in position to compete as hard as I can? And that goes into the way that I train, everything that I do. And luckily, you know, I've got a daughter as well. So she, you know, she's always there telling me, listen, you need to wake up because you know you're playing on Saturday. But it's just the love of the game. I love the game. Everything that I do, you know, I dedicate to the amount of work that I put in, and that has translated in everything in life that I do.
Wow.
Now, you've had like a really, really like amazing career, like Arthur said earlier on. But what was that one moment that was like, okay, this is an amazing career for me, when you just look back at what you've done?
I think, you know, the one that jumped to my mind was when I was first time at the national team. I remember we were in Pooks Hill. It's in the American school there next to Danefern. And I was a rookie then. It was my first time with the guys there. You know, the guys that I looked up to, your Craig Gilchrist, Quentin Denason was there. And I'm just this wide-eyed rookie who's just running up and down, playing the fool. And then we just had a change in management. Our coach, St. Vincent, unfortunately left camp. So we had a new coach. So we were training, doing drills and everything. And then the next day in the morning, so we get called together as a team. So we've got this new coach, doesn't know anyone. And it's like, okay, so, you know, good morning, everyone. Hope you had a good rest, blah, blah, blah. We're going to have a long day. And from today, our captain is now Mothiba. And I'm like,
Wow.
I haven't played a single game for this national team. You know, and there's veterans there, there's all these guys. And obviously, initially, I was like, man, this man is messing with me, right? But then, you know, luckily the guys that were with me, they were, you know, they were understanding. They knew that, you know what, we understand. But then for me, it was a matter of, okay, you know, you're there now, you know, and you do what you gotta do. But the fact that the coach was able to see that at a young age, that set me, that set me up for life, man. Because I was like, you know what, leadership, that's what it is. You know, your actions, everything that you do. When you play hard. Everything that you do, there's always a kid somewhere watching, even if you don't notice them.
Wow.
So for me, that set me off, and that's why I've been able to work as hard, because I enjoy the game.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah,
amazing. No. What he forgets to mention, I mean, that's a beautiful story, by the way. What he forgets to mention is the L's that he took against us when I was playing for Wits, who was playing for Val, right?
Wow.
I mean, I come from a small school in Mpumalanga, don't know what I'm doing, I'm a rookie. I come in, this guy, first possession playing against Val, dunks on my big man, looks at him, does this.
Yes.
Can you imagine psychologically what happens to you as a rookie, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look, we recovered from there and I was able to have a long career at Wits University, but going against him and his team for such a long time, 4 years, was really, really amazing. He forgets to mention that he's a savage on the court, by the way.
Wow. I just love how you're all describing your early days. What's the best words that describe, in particular, the local scene in South Africa, the basketball local scene? That's it, Neo.
I think, you know, the one word that comes to mind, because I work with a junior school as well, you know, the high school. And every time I watch a basketball game, it's just so exciting. So for me, the excitement that I get from watching basketball and, you know, from high school level all the way up to varsity, it's like I don't care whether I'm watching under 13s or I'm watching seniors at over 45.
Wow.
The excitement that I get from just even watching them, let alone not even playing, but just sitting on the stands and watching the game. I get so excited because I see these kids, you know, doing what they love and enjoying what they do. And they bring their families and everything else. And for me, that's what sport's supposed to be, you know. You're supposed to enjoy it. It's supposed to be exciting.
Yeah.
You're 18 years old, you know.
Supposed to have fun. Supposed to have fun.
Yeah, fun indeed.
Absolutely. Now, African basketball fans may no longer have to look solely to the United States for fandom. A new African Basketball League, which will feature 12 teams, is due for tip-off in January 2020. Now, the new professional league will feature 12 club teams from all over Africa, building on current FIBA-organized club competitions. Now, the NBA and FIBA will conduct qualification tournaments later this year to identify the 12 teams that will represent the participating African countries, which will include Angola, Egypt, Kenya, Morocco, Nigeria, Rwanda, Senegal, South Africa, and Tunisia. How incredible is this? Like, this is a big deal for Africa, right?
Yeah, this is
Long time coming.
Huge. It is a long time coming. I mean, if you look at the NBA and the general makeup of what they've done on the African continent, they've got 16 years of the Basketball Without Borders camp that was started a while back, right? Last year, they started the NBA Academy in Senegal, which spoke volumes. We've had 3 African games in the last 4 years here on the continent. Players coming in saying, we want to go play in Africa. We want our footprint to be there. So this league was a natural progression from the work that they'd done here. It doesn't just stop there. I mean, this is not necessarily a charitable organization or initiative. This is also business. The NBA understands that Africa is
the future.
Six of the 10 largest growing or fastest growing economies in the world. So we're a huge economic engine. And at this point, they have to cash in. They understand that sports is one of the ways in which you can do it.
Neo, the NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said that they're using basketball as an economic engine to try and drive technology, media, and of course, sports on the continent. Is it going to be successful, especially with the January 2020 dates soon to be released?
You know, first and foremost, I say big up to FIBA and the NBA. You know, this is a great initiative. And I think it always does. You know, if you look at holistically what basketball has done in previous years. You know, if you look at when they went to China, you know, it's one of the biggest markets in the world. Everywhere they go, it drives holistically every aspect of the game. Technology, you know, the guys have you know, there's many avenues for you to actually make a living.
Yes.
Without actually being on the actual court, you know. There's a lot of guys that I know that do things like stats or people who market the game, you know. Guys will have to every step up, you know, in order to be able to maximize on this opportunity. It's huge for the players too as well. It's huge for basketball in South Africa and obviously all over Africa. But it definitely will, you know, it will bring attention to what basketball is to Africa.
Yeah. But Spoo, the NBA have been on the continent for more than 10 years. So
why did it take so long?
The timing of this.
Yeah, I mean, look, the initial answer that I have for you is TIA, right? This is Africa.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. And there are logistical challenges. You look at travel, you look at hotels, you look at all these things that are going to have to be upscaled one way or another, right? And it took so long, but eventually it was going to happen anyway. Like I said, natural progression from all the work they had done over a long period of time. But if you look at the support that they have, Barack Obama is going to be involved in this league one way or another. The Kenyan president is going to be involved. He's shown support. Rwandan president is also going to be supporting.
Can they just let him chair, please?
Yeah, and look, the biggest thing for me was at the luncheon at the Marriott Hotel in Charlotte for All-Star Weekend 2019. Michael Jordan was actually at the luncheon. He didn't have to say much. He didn't have to. His mere presence spoke volumes, and it shows you how serious the NBA is about this thing. And I'm not going to be surprised if you see Jordan branded uniforms, probably sponsored, right?
DRC.
So this is a big deal. It's a big deal. It's going to be great.
No, it's huge. It's huge.
Well, we've got a lot more basketball discussion coming up, but first, let's pop into the world of social media with our darling Felicia Endersby.
Hello, hashtaggers. I hope you're having a great week so far, though it might not be as great as Usain Bolt's week. The 9-time Olympic gold medalist rocked a $1,000 Gucci jacket as he was joined by Drake in London at a club where it costs $2,000 for a table. Bolt hit the town with Drake after attending the rapper's concert at the O2 Arena. The retired sprinter shared snaps of the concert with his 9 million Insta followers. He really seems to be enjoying life away from competition since his football career with Central Coast Mariners came to an end. He danced into the night with a shanty on a yacht at the Trinidad and Tobago Carnival recently and partied with Bayern Munich last week after their big win over Borussia Dortmund. Someone who's not been having the best week, on the other hand, is Adrien Rabiot. He's been banned from training by PSG for liking Patrice Evra's Man United celebration video. In the clip, Evra threatens to punch former PSG player Jerome Rothen. They slapped Rabiot with a 6-day training ground suspension. The Liga leader's disciplinary message stated, he's obliged to fulfill his duty of loyalty. Damaging the cohesion and serenity of the team is not acceptable. PSG boss Thomas Tuchel hasn't selected Rabiot since December in a dispute over his refusal to sign a new contract. And don't call it a comeback, but The Undertaker makes a shock return and looks in sensational shape. As good as back in 2008, say a lot of Twitter users. The dead man missed his first Mania in 20 years, but made an appearance one night after on Monday Night Raw. The 54-year-old shows no signs of slowing down yet, and wrestling fans are so here for it. All right, hashtaggers, I'll see you when I return. Same time, same place. Tweet me or tag me, I'd love to hear from you. Ciao for now.
Thank you for staying with us right here on #Kwese Sports. Now, the Cape Epic Cycle Race is one of the toughest mountain bike events on the world stage, and the cycling team of Teresa Ralph and Sarah Hill spent some time with us on the show before the event. They finished the race on 6th position overall and first in the African ladies category. Now, let's see how the event unraveled for the team and get their thoughts on the Cape Epic experience.
3 extra Ks. You thought it was 86, but it's 89, which is fine. And today they say it's more like it's like a play day. This is kind of the day that I've been waiting for. I mean, we are climbing for hours and hours and hours every day, and every single day is an achievement in itself, which is really cool for me to feel, because all the other races we do are very attainable. The goals and the kilometers and the meters of climbing are pleasant in comparison, and so this is like you can really give yourself a tap on the shoulder at the end of each day saying you have done it.
We're here again, we're competing against the best in the world. Mm-hmm. And they passed us pretty fast, and I thought, yo, this is why they're world class. Mm-hmm. And because Sabine is an Olympian. But yeah, she's an Olympian, and then Nadine has podiumed at the XCO cross country world champs. Wow. So we had the real top class just in front of us. Yeah. Yep, they went past us pretty fast, but after that we just stuck to them, and
we did. We even caught them back a little bit.
I know, we reeled them in a little bit. We had to just...
And it wasn't just on the climbs. I mean, we are getting better and better at single track descents these days. So it's cool to literally see how we're improving, and then we get to measure ourselves against the best of the world. So
no, exactly.
So tomorrow is actually the Queen stage, where they did note that on every other epic, what we did on stage 3 would have always been classified as the Queen stage. So there's only 50 meters of climbing difference between stage 3 and stage 5. Mm-hmm. But tomorrow they say that it's really hard to keep your momentum. And stage 3 was so hard. So this will be a
bit of a tester. But to think about it, we've had today, which was a shorter day, much more rest.
Yeah.
Good massages.
Yeah. Collar's amazing.
Lovely collar.
Yeah.
You know, you say that you look up to me, I also look up to you, because you're not the only one learning, I'm also the one learning.
It feels cool to have made it to this last point, and I'm really excited to finish strong. So no matter what Hayden said, I'm not taking it easy today. I want to hang on to that group as long as possible.
Yep, I'm with you. You just need to take it one step at a time and look after me on the single track. Like
yeah,
you have
for sure.
For the whole week. The last few stages really hard. It wasn't freewheeling anyway.
And that we had to get over it. There was no other choice. It's so hard not to cry when I get that tired. And I think I'll learn how to kind of deal with it.
And just focus on getting over the next hurdle, and then give yourself a little goal further along. Yeah. Make that your next goal. Get there, get over it. And you just have to take it off in tiny little chunks, and as I often said, we just need to finish this. We just need to finish this, and we hope to share many more races with everyone out there and show that women can do this.
Yeah.
Inspire women to do this. We're in for 2020. We just got confirmation.
Yes, that was so cool, buddies.
Wow, they really are a true inspiration and proof that hard work and dedication does pay off. Back to basketball, and Carrie Jones, our man stateside, has all the latest from the NBA. Carrie caught up with LA Clippers forward Montrezl Harrell, who has a little dig at LA Lakers and looks back at the season so far.
I'm a player that definitely represents my team and play for, the people that I'm playing for and playing with on my team, and that's the Clippers, And like I told, people in the early part of the year, the first time we had this matchup, like, you can respect the past history of what the Lakers have done, but at the end of the day, man, that's not coming back, man. That's not right now, So what you got to deal with is what you got out there playing on the floor right now, So that's just the way it is.
And then can you just discuss the dynamic between you and Beverly and just how you guys play off of each other?
Grit, toughness, hard-nosed, competitive guys. You know, guys that's not going to back down from anybody. You know, no matter whether it's a team, a name, a person. We don't care who it is. You know, we're those type of people that are going to go out there, lace our shoes up, and make everybody compete against us. You know, make the game about us. You know, that's the type of players that we are, and I feel like honestly, when me and him are like that, I feel like our whole team feeds off of it.
Do you feel like this is the best you guys have kind of been as a unit?
I can't really say that, because we had a lot of moments this year where we, had some amazing moments, So I just feel like this year in general, we had a lot of different adversity, trading guys, getting new guys on the team, but, we dealt with all that, We didn't let anything hinder us. We didn't make any excuses. We came in ready to work. We came in with the guys after the trade, and it's just about moving forward and just taking each game one game at a time. And I feel like that's what we're doing. We're understanding everything that's ahead of us and in front of us, and we're taking it one game at a time.
Oh, great to hear what the teams in the NBA are going through at this point of the season, and more coming up from Curry Jones in the weeks to come. Now, staying with LA Lakers, this is going to be hot. They're making the news for all the wrong reasons, with the Lakers sitting out another postseason despite signing one of the best players in the NBA history. Fans and critics have been scrambling to figure out what went wrong. A new report suggests the team's struggles were rooted in ongoing locker room dissension that began with LeBron James pushing the Lakers to trade for Anthony Davis. Swoo, I know you have something to say about that. Do you think that LeBron has found himself on the wrong side?
I don't think so. I think LeBron James is a guy that's always tried to control his own narrative. If you look at his team, Rich Paul, who is his agent, ironically, is Anthony Davis' agent as well, John Wall, among other players that I can mention. He's always tried to control what he does, how he does it, and in his own
dodgy.
terms. When the Lakers got him from Cleveland, they knew.
Calm down, Arthur. Calm down.
Magic Johnson knew who he was getting. He was getting a guy that's basically like a second GM in the team. LeBron James has a lot of influence in every other team. I think the Anthony Davis push was a good one. We didn't get Paul George in the offseason. He had to have somebody, another big player.
You got James who you didn't want.
And if it were me, if I was Rob Pelinka or the GM of the Lakers, I would have traded the whole lot for Anthony Davis.
The whole lot?
You need a marquee star. LeBron James, it's the era of the super teams. You cannot have one guy, one superstar in one team and expect to win.
But James has proven that you can be a one-man club.
Well, I think if you look at all the teams that he's played for, if you look at the Cavs, when he came in, he brought in veterans.
Yes.
People who he knew IQ-wise, they were on the same level as him, a bit lower. And when he went to the Lakers, I think the Lakers were a bit naive in thinking that, with coming with LeBron and then matching up with Magic Johnson, the charismatic GM, he's going to be able to control LeBron and what he's been able to do. But with all these young ones, it's a catch-22 situation. You've got this young talent.
Not for James now.
But that's what I'm saying.
Not for James.
Exactly. So
he had
that's
the
why.
Thompsons, the Kevin Love, the Isaiah Thomas. Guys, the Dwayne Wade.
Has there ever been a bigger LeBron fan than Arthur Bonacao?
But if you look at it, then what's next? Initially in the beginning of the season, if you asked me in the beginning of the season, I was like, you know what, they're on the right track because they were looking at, okay, sit the season out, which was the initial thinking that this season is done. We will just build on to the next season. But then you realize that LeBron actually realized that, you know what, I've only got so much time here. And there's other things or other avenues that he needs to focus on.
All right. So the locker room pushed him out.
No, the circumstances of him going to LA, yes. I believe.
Yeah. But
it feels like the king has lost his throne.
No, he has. Look,
decrown him.
There's a lot of things that happened this year. First of all, there were a lot of injuries. Lonzo Ball has been out for an extended period of time. Rajon Rondo was out extended period of time. It hasn't been the healthiest.
LeBron himself was out. Yeah.
LeBron James, 17 games, the longest stretch of his career in terms of injury. This has never happened before.
Well, you know something that hasn't also happened before? He's not missed a finals or the playoffs in 14 years.
Yeah.
So what's your take on that?
Look,
something is obviously, I feel like the Lakers locker room has reached boiling point because the Magic Johnson resignation doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so here's the thing. The Lakers' problems are not just in terms of what's happening on the court, right? Magic Johnson, Rob Pelinka, Luke Walton, who was supposedly on his way out. Magic Johnson was going to fire him tomorrow morning, just by the way. So there has been turmoil there since the beginning of the season, and they haven't really been able to figure out in terms of the front office. If problems are starting at the top in terms of the front office, they're obviously going to trickle down to the players as well. Never mind the fact that there's been injuries. Never mind the fact that there's been sort of personality clashes as well. LeBron James is coming into a new situation. Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, all these guys are young. He still has to lead that team.
But you know what? The one thing that I actually contribute to that is that let's put things in perspective, right? When LeBron went out with his groin injury, they were actually on par to make the playoffs. They were on par to winning 48 to 50 games.
Yes.
And then it's all sort of now going out because now we've got all these injuries coming.
Yeah.
They were fourth position in the West.
Yes.
So it was very frustrating that's when now I think the mentality changed from we will sit this one out and continue next season to, you know what, we can actually make it onto the playoffs. Hence, I believe the push for Anthony Davis to say, you know what, we've got this man for 4 years or whatever, how many years, if he doesn't ask for a trade anyway.
Yes.
Let's maximize on him while he's still got legs.
Yeah.
And I think that his injury and him sitting, I remember reading, it said 2 weeks max for him is out. And then the next thing is 3 weeks. And then you start thinking, okay, maybe, And then Rajon Rondo's out. And then now you've got this with, Ingram, may the laws be with him. But this is something that you can't take lightly. I mean, Chris Bosh had the same condition.
Yeah. It's going to be a long off-season.
Unending.
It's going to be a long off-season.
I can't believe we're already towards the end of the show. But before we close the show, there's this breaking news, Boo.
Yes. So, to everybody watching, I've retired officially as a Lakers fan. I will not be supporting the Lakers anymore. I will not be supporting Manchester United. It is done. Thank you for listening to me.
Wow.
Thank you, Arthur, for the platform.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
No. Guys.
How emotional.
Guys,
It's
really?
too much. It's too much heartbreak. It's too much for my heart to handle.
The typical Laker fan.
All right. So much time.
I'm done.
Thank you. We've got so much more to come, and looking forward to next week's show. We've got a date, 8:30, same time, same place. Thanks to Neo and Sbu, and of course a beautiful Zitlo.
What an awesome show.
Until we see you again, let the fire return with you. Au revoir.
It's simply devastating.